Hey everyone, it's Blake. Welcome in to episode number 43 of our WWE 2021 Save and TEW 2020. This is our Unforgiven Preview. Short and sweet for this episode, as we'll look at the Unforgiven card, and you guys, as always, can make your predictions. Let me know what you think, and I'll actually try to do the contest this time. I know I did a terrible job with that for SummerSlam. I said I was going to do, figure out something, some kind of contest. I'm still going to work on some ideas on that, but we'll try to find a winner for this one and come up with something that gets you guys involved, some sort of interactive idea for the winner. So we'll work on that. But let's talk about Unforgiven, as that will be our next episode. We got a big card to look at here, and let's go ahead and jump into the pre-booking. As you'll see here, we've got 7 matches on the card right now, minus one in particular that I don't want to have on the pre-booking because it may spoil what we're going to do after the Io Shirai injury. That's going to cause a sort of change in plans for our women's tag team title match with Sonya Deville and Shayna Baszler defending the titles there. So I don't have that one on here. And I know there's another match that we've sort of been teasing. I also don't have that on here either, and we'll talk about that once we get to Unforgiven. But let's just start here at the top with this. Becky Lynch and Sasha Banks one-on-one match will happen at Unforgiven. That, of course, is going to be a number 1 contenders match for the Raw Women's title. Bayley, our champion. If we look at our Raw Women's title triangle storyline, 73 overall right now is what we got with this. You've got these 3 in here. We left Rhea Ripley in here since she was, the champion before. She got that torn Achilles. And so a good storyline. We've had some good segments involved here with all this. Of course, really the only one that struggled was the 59 overall, which came in that 8-woman tag team match where Io Shirai did get injured and is also out for a year. So this has been a good storyline. We really try to build this up, playing the dynamic of Bayley and what, her potential involvement could be in this. And, does she want a match with Sasha? Does she want a match with Becky? What are the dynamics at play? We've had Becky sort of taunting Bayley about the tension with her and Sasha. So a lot of unknowns heading into that match. I think that this will really, when we look at this entire card, I mean, to be honest with you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think our top 5 matches here, I think they all have the potential to do like an 80 rating or higher, perhaps, if the best case scenario. That may be reaching on a couple of these, but I think this could be our best show yet from a match standpoint. I think there could be a match in here that is our best that we've had in our save. I truly believe that, and that's why as we started building the card, I was like, wait a second, we've got a lot of really good matches here. And so I would not be surprised at all if we get, a match of the year candidate coming out of this, and maybe the best one we've had in our save. We've got several to choose from here, and we go from Bayley and Sasha, which I think should be great, to Cesaro and Sheamus. This is another one, not entitling it as a number 1 contenders match, but the winner will get a WWE Championship match on an upcoming edition of Raw, and so that is sort of the scenario here at play for Cesaro and Sheamus. I think this is one that is going to be very interesting because, again, I think from a match standpoint, I mean, what else would we expect with Cesaro and Sheamus other than just really having a very good match? And so I think this should be another one that's really good. We kind of started this storyline, a pretty quick one put together here, but still, coming out of where things stood at SummerSlam, we kind of pivoted into this, and 73, so good stuff here from these 2 in particular. So, I mean, it's Cesaro and Sheamus. Anything less than probably a 75, I will be disappointed in with these 2. Cesaro's overness is, I think, around 70-ish. Sheamus about the same. So, I think we're gonna really try to pick the right road agent notes and all that for this match because I think it could really be one that delivers in a big way. So I'm excited about that one there. Let's jump into, let's go on down the line here. Kevin Owens, AJ Styles. That is going to be for the United States Championship. Of course, this is AJ's opportunity to get a shot at, as he said, he needs this, and he gets his rematch with Kevin Owens. And we've kind of played up this AJ Styles wants to prove he's still got his storyline for a while now. But you can see here, ratings have been great. Based on this, if we look at the last match these 2 had, it goes to an 82. So that was one of our best matches we've had in our save, and that went to a double pinfall, and that way Owens retained the United States title there. I think this one could do better. We'll see. I mean, that's kind of the expectation now, but I really, again, I'm going to try to push the right buttons on this. I think this could be better than the one they had before, so we will see on that. But really, everything played up here is AJ Styles saying that he has to win this. If he doesn't win this United States Championship match, it's not going to be good for Kevin Owens. It's not going to be good for the entire WWE. So perhaps we'll see what he's talking about there with that. But another one that I'm really excited about. I like the build to this match. And yeah, these two we know work great together, and I have expectation that this is going to be a really good one there for the United States title. Montez Ford and John Morrison. This is an interesting one we put together here. It doesn't really have a storyline behind it, so to speak, but the thought process was that Steve Austin has kind of seen what Montez Ford has been able to do as a singles wrestler. We kind of saw that going back to SummerSlam when he was in the Money in the Bank match at SummerSlam with that. And we've kind of built him up, in different matches. And we've talked about it on the series, just discussing how we haven't necessarily kept Montez Ford and Angelo Dawkins apart, but we have allowed them to have some singles matches. And maybe we're not breaking up the Street Profits, but we're allowing them to be a lot more flexible in what they do with matches and such. And so Austin grants Montez Ford a match here with John Morrison, one-on-one on pay-per-view. I mean, really the thought process here was, if we want to put Montez Ford on pay-per-view and we want to kind of build a story for him moving forward, I think John Morrison, and you'll understand what I mean, but John Morrison was the best pick, I think, for this scenario, just based on what we're trying to achieve here. So I think this one, again, should be really good, and there's a lot in play moving forward, I think, for both of these guys in particular. So, again, I don't expect this to be like an 80 match or anything, but I am very curious to see what kind of performance we get from Montez Ford. And really, for John Morrison, both these guys, I think, overness-wise, I can't exactly remember. I want to say upper 50s, low 60s maybe. So I don't know that we're going to get, again, we're not going to get a 75 or higher, I don't think. But I do still feel like that there's a possibility we could really get something special out of this. And we'll see if that's the case for this sort of one-on-one singles match here with Montez Ford and John Morrison. Then our WWE Tag Team Championship match is the New Day defending their titles against the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. If we look at this one, I mean, really, the tag team division right now is interesting. This storyline 54 overall, we haven't really built in a lot, and I think we actually started this before I started the storyline, so there's a lot of segments that aren't here necessarily. This is kind of that 1 month build type scenario here with this, but I've gotten more interested in the Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode situation and what I think they're going to be able to do for us on Raw moving forward, and so that maybe adds a little bit of intrigue into this match. But I think there's a lot coming out of this match that I'm pretty excited about, and I know for kind of a thrown together, it feels like it's thrown together with this tag team championship match. But there is an exciting direction I'm kind of looking at after this match, and so I think again, this should be a good match. I don't have any doubt about that. This probably be in the 60s would be my guess, just based on where everyone's rated. But I think this should be a good match, and I think as you'll see moving forward, our tag team division is going to get very interesting, and that's what I'll say about that. There's another little tease, but our tag team division is going to get very interesting, very fun, and that's kind of one of the focuses, and we'll talk more about that here in the coming videos. But let's go back up to Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton. That is essentially our semi-main event. As we know, this one's put together based off of everything that's been going on with this whole scenario with Edge and Randy Orton, and this big plan they concocted at SummerSlam to be able to take the championships. And we can just go ahead and we have all of these four into one here. So, I mean, look at the storyline. Like, there's just an 88 overall. I want to say that, well, the Reigns storyline, I mean, my goodness. I know we're not even talking about SmackDown right now, but this Reigns storyline, 93 in terms of heat. Incredible. But we're not doing too bad either with this Rated RKO storyline, where we do have these four kind of intertwined here. And, Daniel Bryan, Randy Orton, look, it's pretty self-explanatory. Orton cost Daniel Bryan the championship at SummerSlam, and he wants, that revenge. And Austin's going to give him that opportunity in a one-on-one match here at Unforgiven. And so, yeah, that's kind of the setup there. I mean, it's very basic storytelling, I think, with this match in particular. Like, it's just, I think this should be great. Like, I would not be surprised if this is the match of the night. I think Bryan and Orton could be the best match on the show. It could, exceed the rating for the main event, mainly because I think Rey, I don't remember if we have Rey with the declining physical ability attribute right now or trait. I'm not sure. But I think there's a chance Bryan and Orton will be the best match coming out of Unforgiven. We'll see if that's correct. But speaking of Edge and Rey, that is the main event inside a steel cage. And we know the stipulation is that Austin has said that win, lose, or draw, Randy Orton is going to be handcuffed to the steel cage. And so that way there's no interference, there's no shenanigans. We've seen Orton, kind of play around. He got banned from ringside for that big triple threat championship match, and his music hits mysteriously. And so Austin obviously starts to realize, okay, well, he's involved with that. How do we keep him away from everything? Well, we're going to handcuff him to the cage. So that's the setup for that. But inside the steel cage, like, it's all about Rey Mysterio getting his revenge on his former friend Edge, and ready to take it to Edge. And as Edge sort of alluded to in the promo, he says that Rey is going to see the past, present, and future all come together inside this steel cage. And there's a lot of history between these two, and we'll see exactly how it's going to unfold. But I am very excited about the main event, as always. Like you guys know, like I'm very excited about the main event no matter what. But this main event is going to send us in another direction on Raw. And I will also say this, barring any injuries, which I don't even want to say that, but I know I just did. But barring any injuries on Raw, and if this pay-per-view goes according to plan, Raw in October is probably going to be the wildest 1 month for either show, Raw or SmackDown, that we've had in the series thus far. And so I will just say that, because I tell you, SmackDown is rolling right now. Like, we're hitting on all cylinders on SmackDown. But I think for Raw, there is the booking sheet for October is something. I will just say that it's going to be a lot of fun on Raw in October. I think if everything goes according to plan with this pay-per-view, Raw is going to be wild. We're going to have a lot of talking points to talk about on Raw over the next month or so. So that is Unforgiven. Give me your predictions. Let me know what you think in the comments. I know, you kind of look at some of these matches. I think that, again, maybe on paper, some of them are easier to predict than others. But I think that there are always elements in play that you just don't yet know about. And we'll see what that is at the show. Also, by the way, give me your prediction on what you think I'm going to do with the Women's Tag Team Championship match. Several options. You either think I'm not going to have it on the show, I am going to have it, and if I do, what is your pick for Liv Morgan's tag team partner? Or do you think I do the match and Liv Morgan's removed altogether and there's another team replacing them? Give me your thoughts on that. I think that'll be interesting. If someone guesses that, then you deserve something really awesome, because it's probably going to be that's a little bit harder to predict probably how I'm going to go about doing that with Io Shirai out. But that is that. And like I said, there is another match we've kind of teased. Big E calling out Goldberg, wanting one more match. Will that match happen? We will find out at Unforgiven. So there's the card. Let me know what you think, your predictions, all that good stuff. Lots of fun stuff happening right now. So let me know what you think about Unforgiven, and I again think it should be a really entertaining show, and we'll find out if we're going to have a match of the year candidate, one of our best matches in the series thus far. We could have multiple. We'll see what happens with that. And just for a look ahead, after Unforgiven, of course, we'll have No Mercy. That'll be the SmackDown branded pay-per-view at the end of October. Then we go to Survivor Series. Then we've got the Mae Young Classic, and then into Armageddon to end the year. So there you go. Let me know thoughts on Unforgiven, your predictions, all that. So be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And on the next episode, it will be Unforgiven. And the next episode will be on Sunday, 9 a.m. Eastern. Unforgiven. Should be a great pay-per-view. Get those predictions in. And on the next episode, it is Unforgiven.